Hello, everyone. John Doyle from OptixEQ. In today's video race of the day, I'm going to look at a couple of races, but the real point of this video is to show you how to assess a favorite, post-time favorite, morning line favorite in this case, to decide if the horse is beatable. Because if you can beat the favorite, it opens up a whole lot of other possibilities on wagering. So I'm going to give you a basic framework that I'm going to use in this video on how to assess favorites using OptixEQ products. So I assess on four categories: form, speed, class, and pace. Let's start. I'm going to look at race 4 at San Anita and go look at the favorite Hail Freedom in race 4. This horse is 8-5 in the morning line. Ed O'Neill and Flavien Prat. Obviously, the horse is going to get some money, but let's assess this horse on the different things that I've kind of laid out here. So the first thing is does the horse have red keywords? And the horse does. In the most recent race, you could see they had the perfect trip that couldn't finish. And we'll get into it in the class, but the projection here was to drop this horse in class, which they're not doing. So kind of a negative on class, but we'll get back to that. The other thing to notice is this horse getting recency? Looks like he's getting a layoff. Now, they're putting blinkers on the horse, so you might want to pay attention to the works, but my guess is he probably works pretty good. If he works, the better he works, the more the clocker is going to pick it up and the more less his odds are going to be. So maybe that's even a good thing for us. So that to me, the 56-day layoff is not really neither negative or positive. I could say neutral. Maybe they're just trying to give him a rest up and see how he comes back. But I don't know the suitability to today's distance, even though his biggest figure, and you can see it there, the 91, might be an outlier completely because it just doesn't fit with his other figures. And if you could see in that race, I'm going to show you, he had a lead into the top of the stretch and just blew it. Okay, and I'm just going to bring up his plot for that race so you can see it. And you can see he was one of the only horses in quadrant 1 that day. So he might have had a pace of it. It was no contention speed rating in that race. You had a lot of first-time starters who probably didn't fire. So, I'm just having difficulty evaluating that race and saying he's more of a 91, even though it was sprinting and, he's never run anything kind of close to that. He looks more low 80s. And let's compare, let's get to speed. Let's compare his speed to these other horses. I'm going to look like the last 90 days. And you can see that while his numbers are okay, they just don't, except for that 91, if we just say that 91 was an outlier, his 82 is no advantage in this race, right? You have other horses that are running in those low 80s, a number of them. So no speed advantage for a favorite, okay? So if we look at this speed, no speed advantage to this horse. Class, he's been running in maiden races, class competition. You see again, I'm just looking at the V bars here, no advantage. Everyone's all coming out of the race. They've been trying to break through the maiden special weight ranks. So no advantage there. And then let's look at the last category is pace. Let's look at the plot. He kind of sits a big square in quadrant 3. Maybe if you look at the standard plot, it looks like he may be able to stalk the 1-5, but I don't know. It looks like the 1-5 with a contention of a snowflake and speed rating 0 might have a pace advantage on him. So does he stalk and pass horses? Well, let's just go back to his form again for a second. Does this horse really like to pass horses? Doesn't look like to me. Now, I know he's going longer distance, but even in the sprint, he caved in the stretch. I don't know if this horse really wants to pass horses. So I would say at best his plot is a neutral. I wouldn't give it a downgrade or upgrade. It's maybe a neutral. So for a horse that's going to be 8-5, if we go back and look, form, we have our questions. Speed, no advantage. Class, no advantage. Pace, no advantage. For me, this is a horse we want to take a stand against based on those categories. And so that's how we assess Hail Freedom in race 4 at San Anita, who's the morning line favorite, and most likely will be the favorite, especially with those connections. I'm going to switch over to another race, a little bit different. It's Aqueduct race 1. And the plot fit is really red, so it's kind of it's fuzzy. And the favorite in this race is going to be the number 2. And you can see he kind of got that big square, but again, the plot looks just kind of messy. Don't know. You can see the run styles are not established. This is a maiden claiming race. It's a low-level race, so hard to assess the plot. So on pace-wise, hard to assess this horse. If we go to the form on this horse, you can see speed figure-wise, he's got a kind of a dominant advantage. He's been running 75 and 80. Okay, and he looks like, wow, this horse has been doing it in main special weight. He's going down to a main 20. Not so fast. He's running at finger legs. And when you look at a V-bar of comparison to class, this horse is actually below on class, right? This is actually a move up. So there's no class advantage, disadvantage. This horse is 53-day layoff. You see this thing plotty, slow out of the gate, going 2 turns. So this horse is cutting back to 1-turn race. His only 1-turn race was a 69 speed figure wise, which puts him more in line with the rest of the field. So it gives him less of an advantage versus looking at these races with these big figures. These big figures could be not representative of what he's going to be doing today. So from a distance suitability standpoint, slow, plotty, concerns. Those are keywords that concern me for this horse. But those are the things that are troublesome. And then this horse is even money in the morning line just because of those dominant figures. So this is a horse that we might want to take a stand against. If I kind of review pace, no plot advantage because the plot is fuzzy. Class, negative on class. Speed, yeah, he has an advantage on speed, but are those races suitable to today's surface and distance? And so that's it. A horse at even money is a horse we want to be kind of taking a stand against in a race that's relatively weak, but not going to take less than even money on this horse. And we think he might be a vulnerable favorite. Okay, so those are the vulnerable favorites on January 15th on Saturday. And hopefully this was useful. Again, I'm going to just put this process up there again so you guys can see the framework. Again, you can dig as deep you want, but these are kinds of the things that you want to be looking at when assessing the favorite. You want to dig even deeper than this because, like I said, if you can get really good at this, it puts you at extreme advantage and edge. Okay, thanks a lot for listening. Check us out on our website, OptixEQ.com, or subscribe to this video channel on YouTube. And thanks for listening.